Welcome to Craving Cinema, and today we are talking about Kelly Reichardt. I want to take a moment to apologize because I am sick and I can't tell yet if you can hear it. I'll find out when I'm editing. But yeah, woke up sick today, so just bear with me. I know I'm already a sniffly person, so I'm sure this is just going to be worse. But yeah, I finished my five Kelly Reichardt films for the 5x5 challenge, which is super exciting. I had a good time with these films. I feel like, those opening months of the year is kind of like a perfect time for Kelly Reichardt. She is, famous for her slow cinema. And I think it just matched up with the season really well. It was cold. I did, want to stay indoors and just like hibernate. And yeah, I think some slow films are just perfect for that time. Um, in general, I think all her films are really centered around people that are struggling one way or another. And I think so much of it can be relatable. Kelly Reichardt is a director that I feel like has gotten into the cliche of like all her films are, centered around Oregon, which I really don't mind. And I think it kind of surprised me when I first found out that she's actually from Miami, Florida. I wouldn't have pictured that for her, but I guess it makes sense. I feel like sometimes you have to not be from those places to appreciate them. So yes, Kelly Reichardt is from Miami, Florida, but I feel like a majority of her films are like these really foresty, mountainous places. And she has spoken in interviews before saying that she loves to just drive around the country. And that's something that really helps her while she's like, you know, thinking about her next film and like trying to set up where is this going to be, what feels right. And I feel like you can tell in her movies they're always these unique locations, and I think obviously you can't find stuff like that without having to just drive around and just see what's out there. I think also I'm about like rather I've just started watching Ozu films, so I really don't know much about Ozu, but it kind of worked out that I started with Kelly Reichardt because so far I've seen Tokyo Story, and that's a very slow movie that just kind of slowly builds. And I feel like Kelly Reichardt has that in her cinema, so it kind of worked out like it was almost like it was preparing me for Ozu in a way. But yeah, let's get into it. I actually really quick, I just out of nowhere realized like in the middle of the challenge that once I had the five on my list, I really only had one more left to watch, and I would be caught up with her films, which is super exciting. I feel like everyone's always playing catch up and always trying to get like, watch this film, watch that film, but like, I just somehow found myself like, wow, I'm about to watch them all. So yeah, I did watch Old Joy to wrap this up, which is super exciting. So I decided to kind of set it up like a ranking. And I'm going to be doing this for all of the five directors that I choose, or rather that are chosen for the 5x5. So, and I just want to say, like, I had a good time with, like, all of these films. So even though, yes, Night Moves is my least favorite of them, it's not a bad film. I gave this a 3-star. This is from 2013. And okay, so I would say the first half of this film is so solid. We have these three people that are about to commit an act of eco-terrorism, and everything in the first half that's leading up to that, I found really, I don't know, like I there's an intensity to it where you're constantly like you feel their pressure of like trying not to get caught, trying not to be suspicious, trying to just like get the deed done. And I think once that dam goes down, so does my interest with this movie, unfortunately. The rest of it just doesn't really, I don't know. I feel like the rest of it just didn't hold up to what we had in that first half. So unfortunately this one was my least favorite. It didn't work for me all the way. After that, we have Old Joy from 2006. So this is actually like, I feel like a pretty familiar story, you know? Just like two friends that are like slowly growing apart as they age and make different decisions in life. Um, and I think like what you're gonna hear a lot of with Kelly Reichardt, and something I will definitely bring up quite a few times later on, is the feeling of like nothing is happening but everything is happening. And I would say here it's a little bit more of a nothing is happening. Like this is very much like a like kind of a buddy film, like very much vibes. These guys are going out to do like a little camping trip, and they're getting lost and, you know, trying to trying to reconnect in this like kind of bad situation. And yeah, I feel like there could have been more here. There is so much potential with this one, which makes it a little sad for me. But yeah, I feel like she could have gone a little deeper in Old Joy, but I still enjoyed these characters and the little trip they went on. So there's that. All right, from there, I've got First Cow, 2019. I know this is like a new favorite for a lot of people. And this is very much like everyone says, like a movie about friendship and baking. And even though I do agree, I think we could have gone deeper into the friendship. I don't know. I had that weird moment of like, I wish this movie was longer. I would have liked to see more of these two. And I think what I appreciated more would be like that the act of like sharing your dreams with somebody, you know, because I feel like that's like such a personal thing. So having the space to share that with another human being, and then like also watching the struggle of trying to make your dreams a reality. I don't know, I think those aspects really worked for me here. I just wish again we had more of the friendship, because it is a sad ending, but it didn't hit me as hard as I thought it would, you know? But again, First Cow, that was like 3.5 stars, still a really good watch. After that, I've got River of Grass. This is 1994, so this is Kelly Reichardt's first film. I feel like you don't hear a lot of people talk about River of Grass, which is a shame, because I actually really enjoyed this movie. And again, is real slow. I kind of feel like this one and another movie coming up might be the slowest of the movies. But there's something about this one. And I don't know if you've seen Radiance has a great Blu-ray for River of Grass, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little tempted to pick it up. We're gonna see. But yeah, this being Kelly Reichardt's film, it feels like her, but also feels a little different. It's got like, it's slow, but it has this like dark edge to it that, even though like some of her other films do have a slight, you know, slight moments of that, this one kind of really leans into the darkness. Because yeah, like our main character Cozy, her dad is a cop, so I feel like we do get quite a few scenes of like photographs of crime scenes and stuff like that, and just in general like a darker edge to this one. This kind of reminds me of a favorite of mine, like a favorite movie of mine, Rebels of the Neon God. If you know, you know. That's a really great Taiwanese film that you should absolutely check out. But yeah, just like the idea of people aimlessly wandering and feeling like something should be happening, but you don't know what. Like there's that in this film that I really just ate up. So yeah, that's on movie, by the way. Again, not enough people talk about it. Check it out if you have time. From there, I've got Showing Up. I feel like I've talked about Showing Up already so much in one of my monthly wrap-ups. But yeah, just like a love letter to create the creative process. And I just love our main character, who is so unlikable and just really like button heads with everybody that comes around her. And her family is so weird and wacky. I don't know. There's something about Showing Up that works for me. And yeah, that's another 3.5 stars. Though, God, I keep saying it. I should just give this one the 4 because I love it so much. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and make Showing Up a 4. I really enjoy that film. After that, we've got Certain Women, 2017. 2016. I've mentioned this. I feel like this is the film I'm always hearing about when it comes to Kelly Reichardt, and I get it because I really enjoyed this film. And this is the only anthology we have from Kelly Reichardt, though I would love to see another anthology from her. I think that would be so much fun. And these are all based off short stories by, I'm gonna pronounce this wrong, Maylee Malloy. So sorry if I said it wrong. So I'm gonna say the Laura Dern section of this is my favorite, and that's actually based off a short story called Tome. And in general, like the idea that all these stories are about people who want something that they can't have, and just like the struggle, the pain, the awkwardness, all of that, of like having that like, you know, urge to have something, but it's just out of reach. So yeah, Certain Woman is my number 3. So now we're down to 2. If you're doing the math, you already know what's going on here. But okay, so my number 2 spot is going to be Meek's Cutoff, 2010. I didn't think that this would be so high up here when I originally saw this film. But I don't know, this is just a quiet nightmare. And I think because we're focused on these 3 families, and there is truly, like, the entire time we're watching it feels like there's nothing else out there. There's just such an intimacy, but also like that feeling, like I love movies that kind of like show you how small we are, like humans, compared to the natural world, and you get so much of that in this film. And I think also like all of Kelly Reichardt's films are foresty, mountainous films, and this is for the most part like a desert film. And she really treats it the same as though we were in a forest. You know, there's appreciation for the land that's in this that I absolutely love. Every time I watch it, just it freaks me out. I think living the time that we are living in, it's hard to watch this film and imagine that these families are just blindly following someone who supposedly knew where they were going. Like that's so scary to me, like not knowing and just having to wake up every day and keep going, hoping that it will get better. Like, I don't know. This movie just worked for me. Okay. So yes, number 1 is Wendy and Lucy, 2008. Oh my god. This movie broke me. Like this was like an emotional roller coaster. I mentioned earlier the idea that Kelly Reichardt's films are about people who are struggling, and Wendy and Lucy is a struggle. And not to say that obviously we literally just talked about what I would say is one of the ultimate struggles, Meek's Cutoff, but like the individual struggle of Wendy and Lucy, and the intimacy with like this person and their dog, which is something that I think a lot of us can relate to. So other people have complained about like Kelly Reichardt having some ambiguous endings, and I agree with that. I think that's something that doesn't fully work with me with movies like Old Joy and First Cow. But I feel like Wendy and Lucy isn't ambiguous. It feels like an ending. I don't sit there and wonder like what's gonna happen next. Like in my head, I kind of already have that moment of like, okay, and now this is gonna happen, and I'm sure there's still a little bit of a question there, but I don't know. It feels the most well-rounded. I think I was the most attached to this film. I was emotionally invested, and yeah, just solid. A solid film you should absolutely check out. Because I know not everybody's gonna watch all her films, but I think Wendy and Lucy is one you should throw on. And I am so excited for The Masterpiece. I think even though Night Moves was my least favorite of her films, Night Moves is the movie where I was suddenly like, you know what, I'm excited for The Masterpiece. It's supposed to be kind of like a heist film. And I think with the tension happening in Night Moves, like I really in my head, I'm like, no, she can absolutely pull this off, and I'm excited for this heist film. I'm so excited. So yeah, that was Kelly Reichardt, the first of the 5 directors. As I mentioned, I've moved on to Ozu, so you're going to start to see some of my shorts about those. I've been releasing shorts if you've been watching them about each movie that comes out, or each movie that I'm watching for the 5x5 challenge, and I'm going to start to do more shorts on shorts as well. But yeah, if that all sounds good to you, like and subscribe, and I will see you next time for, I believe, a movie review, actually. I want to start to get more of those going. So yeah, bye.